Welcome, Cindy. So honored to have you here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
So let's get started. First, can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you got started in mariachi?
It's a super long story, so let me see how to condense this baby. Well, I've been playing trumpet since I was 8 years old, and that's a long time if you know how old I am. And I started the Mariachi Divas 1999. I started performing mariachi music in about 98. 99, I decided to start my own band because that's just the type of person I am. I like to kind of be in control of the way I do things or the style that we play, which is kind of how Divas played out, being very unique and original from the beginning. I had a background in classical music and jazz, and I had gone to Cal State Fullerton for 5 years as a music ed major, and then got a full ride scholarship with Arturo Sandoval, legendary Cuban trumpet player, to go to Florida International University on a full ride with him under jazz performance. So I left to Miami and spent a good time out there, learning the jazz scene and of course the salsa scene and all that. And my first professional gig, I guess you could say, other than, local church gigs and that sort of stuff in high school, my first professional gig was actually playing with a very famous salsa artist here in LA named Yadi More. And he was the official backup group for Celia Cruz. So she was my first boss. So anybody who knows the Queen of Salsa,
Wow.
I was pretty lucky at 18 years old to be able to stand behind her and her husband, directing the band and get those experiences. So I definitely had a heavy influence in Latin music before jumping into the mariachi. It wasn't completely foreign to me, speaking the language and learning about the culture, but the regional Mexican side was definitely new when it was introduced to me. And interesting enough, lucky enough, the first year I started the Divas, I had the opportunity to actually start touring with a big named artist named Joan Sebastian, who's passed away, but he was a very famous composer who not only sang his songs, but also gave them to Vicente Fernandez and Lucero and Pepe Aguilar, and the list goes on and on and on. And when I started touring with him, not as a mariachi, just as a musician, I learned so much about the regional Mexican side, which norteño, banda, mariachi, everything. So he kind of became my Mexican dad. And while I was developing the Divas, he gave me the side that I didn't have, and understanding that part of the culture. And where the combination came in of the flavor of the Divas was pretty much because of my background and because of what I'd done. And then, of course, jumping into the mariachi scene, I had to, understand fully what I was performing. You can't go perform Jose Alfredo Jimenez songs and not understand who he was or the contribution to music he gave. So that's where the mix came in, where we ended up being a multicultural group. Unexpectedly, just my friends in the music business were from everywhere. And often when people speak Spanish here in LA or anywhere, they don't ask where you're from. A lot of people here, unfortunately, just assume, oh, you speak Spanish, you're from Mexico. And I found a lot of that. And it really bothered me because I had lived in Miami and there were so many different cultures. I always asked, where are you from? I wanted to learn the dialect and the accents. And, oh, you're from Colombia, you're from Venezuela, you're from Puerto Rico. You're from Cuba, I can't understand you, and then I ended up sounding more Cuban and Dominican than Mexican when I speak Spanish. And I found it so intriguing and interesting, and the different styles of singing and dance and food and culture and dress and in every aspect, that I started asking people, where are you from? And little by little, Divas became this really amazing international group with women from all over the world, not just their parents, but them actually born in, Panama or Colombia, Argentina, Cuba, and it just became beautiful, a beautiful mix. And that's where the style came in, where we decided, hey, why not add some flutes, and why not add a little percussion if we feel like it, if we're playing a cumbia or we're playing a cha-cha-cha. And when we play the traditional mariachi stuff, we'll keep it as traditional as we can, but it's going to be with our flavor, because everybody gives their own gift from where they're from, including myself being a gringa, Irish, Italian, American, jazz background. You can definitely hear, the jazz flavor, sometimes little Herb Albert, sometimes little Miles, it depends what we're playing, come out in my style through the way I use my vibrato through my trumpet, and the way I phrase is just a little different. So instead of me trying to be something I'm not, I decided to stay true to who I am, but still try to capture the style as best as I was able to, but still be me. And that's what I pretty much encouraged all the divas to do throughout the last 22 years. that we've been in business, and hopefully 22 more. But that's kind of where we're at. And so those of you who have heard the Divas would know that we like to change it up, and in a 1 hour show, you're going to get a little bit of everything. You're going to get, of course, the traditional classics. You're going to get a little bit of English too, maybe Spanglish, because we have a lot of Chicanos and, people that don't speak Spanish in our shows. You're going to get the sad songs that make you want to cry, but in a good way. And you're going to get the happy songs, that make you want to dance and you want to throw those gritos mexicanos. And we do stuff for kids too, because of course, for those of you who don't know, we're definitely home to Anaheim, where we spent the last 18 years at the Disneyland Resort performing. And that's was my other home until the pandemic hit and hit us very hard. And we miss it immensely and dearly. So that my heart is definitely with all the cast members over there getting back into it. And I pray that at some point they'll be able to put entertainment back and remember that the Divas belong at Disney, I hope. And that's our other part of our home. So a lot of time we go to shows and the kids want to hear, It's a Small World or something from Coco. And we like to kind of include everything and give a show to all three generations and just everyone out there. And that's where we're at. I'm currently about to release I believe it's my 17th album, Mariachi Divas album.
Congratulations. That's huge.
It's a big deal. I know it's a lot of albums. Through the pandemic, we actually built our own music studio. I'm in it right now. So we have our own Divas music studio where we record now and I produce. I'm learning to engineer now also so I can record. I engineered a bunch of things also during the pandemic and collaborations and all that good stuff. So the next album is going to be a tribute to Armando Manzanero, an amazing composer who passed away because of COVID, I believe. And if you love Luis Miguel, you love Armando Manzanero because he basically, all those romantic songs are from him, a lot of them. And so we're excited to release that beautiful album May 28th. And that's kind of what we're doing now. And we're just getting back into things. I had mentioned earlier, I was running and I'm late and I'm sorry. And but we just literally got off a tour. We went to Houston, Texas and played at Miller Outdoor Stadium. And it was the first show since March 2020 that they had. So we got to open it up and it was half virtual, half house. And we went to Oklahoma and did a show and then came home and I was at a casino the other night and we're going to another one on Sunday. And I'm like, wow, we're moving again. So this is cool. Like we're out there doing things. And one thing I will say about mariachis and the importance of it to not only myself for work and for the love of it and for the musicians, but to the world is it truly was proven during this pandemic that it is an essential music. Mariachi music is an essential music. I think we're the only musicians that I could see, and at least in LA, Orange County area, that literally kept going through the whole pandemic and gave that support and love to people that needed it, who were having their family members pass away, or quinceañeras were flying by, weddings were happening through Zooms and cell phones. And we were able to jump on those calls or through those windows and give a little bit of normalcy, I guess. And it was definitely hard, to put a lot of people, to say goodbye to a lot of people through our music that I loved. Personally, I attended a lot of funerals that I played that I have people that I loved passed. And music has a different meaning to me now. It's not just a job or, something I have to do to survive. It's something that we have to do as people for one another, whether a paycheck comes along or not. I realize the importance of how healing it is and what a great responsibility I have, not only as a musician, but as a musician wearing a mariachi suit, representing Mexico, and how important this music has become to the entire world, was truly proven in 2020. So it's been quite a year. And I thank you for allowing us to do this through a virtual type event, because in the moment you asked us, it still wasn't safe to be out there completely. And
Nice.
And it's pretty awesome that you're doing this. And hopefully someday we can get back to your stage, because I know we opened up at Chapman when you first made that beautiful auditorium and did a beautiful show. And I would love to get back over there live.
Oh, definitely. Oh my gosh, Cindy, you are So amazing. And you have such a great story to tell. And you span so much time, and all of your references and crossing music and just everything you are and everything you bring to the art form is just so important and so impactful. And we are so happy and honored to have you back in this virtual way. And yeah, we definitely will want to have you back in person when we get back to that, hopefully in the late fall.